Welcome to the debate. Today, we're turning our attention to something that's become this invisible architecture of our modern lives, artificial intelligence. I mean, we are no longer talking about theories or future concepts. We're analyzing AI that's deeply integrated into, commerce, learning, and even how we talk to each other. It's really the engine driving our reality now.
It absolutely is. And that ubiquitous presence, I think, demands some immediate scrutiny. We're well past the point of just admiring the technology. Now we actually have to evaluate its real impact on human agency.
Exactly. So the central tension we need to explore here, which really comes from looking at all these widespread applications, is this. Does the current implementation of AI primarily represent a force for genuine personal empowerment and efficiency? Or does this convenience that we all feel inevitably lead to a structural over-reliance and a compromise of our personal autonomy?
Hmm. That is a profound distinction. We're basically weighing the immediate, quantifiable benefit of speed against the much harder to quantify long-term costs to our skills and our privacy.
My position is that AI's core function in daily life is overwhelmingly positive. It acts as a powerful amplifier of human potential. It maximizes our convenience. It provides unprecedented personalization, and it drives radical efficiency. It empowers the individual.
And I come at it from a different angle. While I'll acknowledge the undeniable gains in speed and automation, of course, I'd argue that the pervasive nature of AI convenience is built on a significant non-negotiable cost: the non-stop extraction of our personal data, and the inherent risk of what I'd call cognitive atrophy. This transforms what looks like pure convenience into a conditional dependency.
Okay, so let's delve into the evidence for empowerment. The sheer scope of efficiency gains is transformative. I mean, just consider sophisticated predictive modeling, not just suggesting the fastest route home, but optimizing massive global supply chains faster than any human team ever could. This level of analysis, it goes beyond simple time saving. It allows humans to focus on the big picture, the strategic challenges, by offloading all that routine data processing to the machine.
That's the compelling argument for industrial productivity, I'll grant you that. But I find its application in our personal daily lives far more concerning. You cite the utility, but you can't just separate the utility from the cost structure. The very mechanism of personalization that you praise, whether it's helping a doctor analyze a medical test or recommending educational content, it is entirely dependent on collecting granular behavioral data.
But that data collection is precisely what enables the specificity needed for effective learning. When the technology can tailor education, for instance, by identifying that a user is, say, at a B1 level in a language, and then it serves up precisely matched grammar exercises, well, that creates a truly individualized learning path. Generic content is inefficient. This hyper-personalization makes education more potent and more accessible.
I'm sorry. I just don't buy that the structural cost is some minor detail we can ignore. That personalization, YouTube remembering every second you watch, a shopping site tracking your searches, it relies on collecting data that goes far beyond what's necessary for just functional performance. And this leads directly to our first key disagreement: the tension between personalization and what I would call algorithmic constraint.
Okay, let's define that then. I see personalization as enabling choice and deepening engagement. Where exactly do you see the constraint?
Personalization, by its very nature, optimizes for engagement within known parameters. So, take your learning example. If the AI serves specific B1 grammar lessons, it's doing so to maximize your time on the site. This optimization risks creating an algorithmic echo chamber. The AI recommends based on what you have watched, not necessarily what you need for holistic growth or exposure to something new.
But the user still has ultimate control. If they want to watch history content, they just search for it. The algorithm is simply reducing the friction of discovery in a relevant area.
But reducing friction comes at the expense of intellectual discovery. If the AI is optimized to keep me in my little B1 grammar bubble, I may never accidentally encounter, say, a fascinating B2 level podcast on global economics, which would expand both my language skills and my worldview. The algorithm isn't designed for broad intellectual curiosity. It's designed to predict and satisfy immediate, narrow desires. We trade breadth for comfort.
That trade-off, if it even exists, seems minor compared to the massive gains in speed. And that brings us to our second point, the debate around efficiency and its impact on the job market. Efficiency is the benchmark of progress. AI speed is a clear net positive. It allows us to remove high-volume, low-complexity tasks, freeing up human capital for creative problem-solving and critical judgment.
That's an interesting point, though. I would frame the societal cost a little differently. While sure, a doctor with an AI assistant can review scans faster, the data also points to widespread job concerns. We're not just shedding low-complexity tasks. We're automating entire mid-level domains that relied on routine processing.
But the economy always adapts. Historically, technology has created more jobs than it has destroyed. The type of job just shifts.
I'm not so convinced by that historical analogy simply because of the velocity and the breadth of this transition. If machines can do tasks faster across almost every sector simultaneously, the scale of required reskilling introduces massive societal friction and anxiety. The data suggests that without clear policy, this efficiency primarily benefits capital owners, not the displaced workers, who have to scramble to learn completely new skills.
The onus is on the workforce to adapt, and AI tools themselves are proving invaluable in helping with that learning. And furthermore, think of customer service. If a chatbot handles 80% of inquiries instantly, the human agents are freed up for exclusively complex, high-value problem resolution. That's a net improvement for everyone.
Yet, if we rely too heavily on suggested responses and automated writing for our routine communication, we risk that cognitive atrophy I mentioned earlier. If we lose the muscle memory for foundational problem solving or clear, spontaneous communication skills that are absolutely essential in the workforce, how do we train the next generation? We gain milliseconds in efficiency now, but we potentially sacrifice critical independent thought in the long run.
That requires disciplined use, not wholesale rejection of the tool. Nobody argued against the calculator for fear of losing arithmetic skills. We just demanded better education on how to apply it. And look, let's talk about the immense value of daily convenience, our third contention. AI truly organizes and simplifies our complex personal logistics.
The argument of ultimate convenience, however, that often masks the trade-off in autonomy, which I think is the most dangerous aspect here. Yes, it's convenient to have a smart assistant manage reminders, but we have to acknowledge the structural shift in control.
The conservation of mental energy is a powerful advantage. Allowing AI to manage low-stakes tasks frees our finite cognitive capacity for higher-order, truly human endeavors. That is genuine empowerment.
That's a compelling argument, but have you considered how that system works? It's designed not just to be helpful, but to be irreplaceable. I mean, the material itself contains a crucial warning advising that users must not depend on AI for everything and must double-check information.
Well, that's just standard due diligence for any powerful system, digital or otherwise. We verify complex calculations done by any software.
But if human intervention is consistently required because we know the error rate is not zero, we acknowledge that solutions are sometimes wrong, then the claimed pure efficiency is compromised, isn't it? More dangerously, the constant need for verification turns the user into a human backstop, validating the machine's output. We start implicitly trusting it, even though its design prioritizes speed over absolute factual fidelity.
I do see why you emphasize that vulnerability, but the overall performance for things like pattern recognition still demonstrates massive speed and often accuracy gains compared to a human doing the same task quickly. We are managing risk, not creating it wholesale.
We are structurally increasing dependency. The seamless nature of the convenience is designed to bypass cognitive friction. We are giving up small pieces of independent critical thinking every time we blindly accept a prediction or recommendation.
Look, ultimately, AI remains an invaluable, supportive tool that fundamentally enhances life through speed, convenience, and personalization. We should embrace it as a primary facilitator of our daily routines, allowing us to focus our expertise on novel challenges.
AI is undoubtedly powerful, and its transformation of our world is undeniable. However, its deep integration into daily life demands profound vigilance. We must be conscious of the mechanisms driving that convenience, the data extraction, the risk of over-reliance. We have to insist on treating AI strictly as a helpful tool that augments us, ensuring that we, the users, remain firmly in control of our own cognitive capacity and personal data.
We certainly agree that AI's impact is profound and that managing its risks is essential. Whether it's used for targeted language practice or complex data optimization, the benefits of speed and personalization are reshaping our world.
And we agree that wisdom is required. The key decision, really, for anyone listening, lies in balancing those clear, immediate benefits of efficiency against the inherent risks of dependency and data vulnerability that are, well, the price of admission to this new automated reality.